so I know you're really involved in the voting that's going on right now in the elections. So could you tell us more about that?
Yes, absolutely. Voting is so essential, y'all. And when we're talking about voting, we're not just talking about the president. We're also talking about who's going to be serving you that lives down the street from your home, right? Mm-hmm. Each district has a state representative. So we need to make sure that those representatives are reflecting our values, our communities, right? And so we have the power to vote for them this November as well. We have the power to vote for senators, right? In Georgia, this is a hot race. Georgia is a huge battleground state. So you have a Senate that is going to be determined by how we show up in November. So you think about it, okay, do you want a Senate that looks like this, or do you want a Senate that looks like that? Do you want one working with the governor and his agenda, or do you want one working against the governor and his agenda? Do you want one who is co-signing every single thing Trump does, or do you want some that are going to be challenging what Trump does? So it's, those are the types of races that are on the ballot. There's so much at stake. So when we talk about this November's election, we got to be talking about all the positions available. We were having this conversation earlier, but even the sheriffs, right? Mm-hmm. You literally have the power to vote for the sheriff that is going to be representing your community. Do you know what the sheriff does? They control whether or not your community works with ICE, who, as we know, is doing a lot of harmful things to immigrants in this country right now. They have the power to work on things like police reform, things like mandating mental health professional training for a lot of these offices. They have so much influence. So when we're talking about, pushing police reform and fighting for the betterment of Black lives in America, we have to have these conversations about, well, who's going to be representing us? Because if we're fighting and we don't have proper representation, we can only get so much accomplished. So voting is going to be extremely important. And do not say November 3rd is your election day. We know that it's the public election day. Mm-hmm. Our election day needs to be any day in October, because we need to vote early. They want us showing up to election day on November 3rd, standing in those long lines during a pandemic. Who else knows what's going to be going on, and risking that, right? But if we can show up and vote early, and a lot of these counties have, they all have locations where you can vote early.
Yeah, voters registration office.
Yes.
All those early votings, they happen in the voters registration office. So it is very important for you to know your voters registration office.
Period. It's so important. Like, we have to understand that each county, each district, they have an elections office, like we said. So if you go on our page, Promote Positivity Movement, on Instagram, in our bio link, we have basically all of these resources listed out. So if you need help finding your election center, you can click it. If you need help accessing a sample ballot, as we were talking about early, you can click your Georgia Secretary of State website. And not just for Georgia. We have ways where you can find it in whatever state you're in the country. Because we all need to be able to access that critical information. We can't just show up to election without looking at our sample ballot once. We need to inform ourselves, right? We need to educate ourselves. We need to know exactly what we're walking into. So, definitely, when it comes to voting, we got to think about early voting. If you are going to vote by mail, which a lot of people are this year because COVID and because, just trying to be safe, don't send that thing back through USPS. Drop it off at a drop-off location. Most counties have drop-off locations. They literally have, it's a little drop-off thing, and you just put it in. Like you will, and instead of putting it through the mail, you can just do that. And that's also safe because you're not actually having to stand in line. That's if you can't vote in person, obviously. That's, another option. So please don't mail them back. Like, drop them off at drop-off locations. We have that information available as well in our link. So it's just understanding that when we talk about voting, we got to talk about protecting our vote. Because we're not just voting, we got to protect our vote this year for it to count.
Because I heard a lot of people saying that because of the whole, the Postal Service is delaying the mail, and that could cause your ballot not being counted, if I'm right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the USPS came out saying that a lot of these states are going to be impacted to where, I can't remember the number, but that some of these, if you send it out and the election center does not receive it by November 3rd, they won't count your ballot for some of these states. If it comes November 4th or 5th, your ballot didn't count. So that's why it's really important. Don't send it back through the mail. The USPS has already come out saying, we can't guarantee that we're going to get your ballots in on time. They already told us that. Okay, if you're voting by mail, have your ballot, fill it out, put that thing in the envelope, and take it to the drop-off location. All you gotta do is open it up and put it in. And then do that early in October. Voting in Georgia starts October 12th, early voting. So you can literally, as early as October 12th, you can even go drop it off to your election center. Or you can put it in a drop-off box. And then after a week or two, you should be able to check your status and see it. You go on My Voter page through your Georgia Secretary of State website, and it'll let you know if they received your ballot. If they didn't receive your ballot, you need to be calling them every single day until election day, or going in and voting traditionally if they still didn't receive it by November 3rd. So it's really important, y'all. We gotta make sure we're double checking our page to see if they received it and doing everything possible to protect our vote.
And where can people find like other dates, like to vote for our state senates and mayor and all that? Do you have that available on your page, or where can we find that?
Yeah, just like, so earlier we were talking about the Secretary of State website. All the information is there. So you can check that periodically throughout the year to see what your elections are, what's coming up, like what new elections are happening. So literally, if you just type in, you can Google search it, Georgia Secretary of State website. Rahel told us about an app that they have as well. So you can download the app if you want, and you just go on there. All you do is put your information in. I believe it's name and birthday, your county, yeah, and then boom, it pulls everything up, and it takes less than 5 minutes. So that is one thing we always urge people, please take like 10 minutes to go on My Voter page and explore, especially if you're in Georgia. If you're not in Georgia, other states have a similar page like that you can explore. And it's almost like a game. I promise y'all, this primary election, I was so excited because for the first time, I felt like I really knew exactly who I was voting for. Because we spent time looking at our sample ballot, going through My Voter page, familiarizing ourselves with everything that's going on, you feel almost more empowered as a voter versus just like circling dots and like, you know what I mean, just submitting it. So take the time to learn and so yeah, take the time to go through. And I know some people have kids, like that's a fun experiment to do with your child, so you can walk them through that and say, oh, look at this, you know, and fill out the sample ballot together. And I think that's so awesome.
Yeah. My 8-year-old is so invested in it. Yeah. Especially with all the commercials coming up. He was like, John Ossoff, he seems kind of like a good guy. What do you think? And I'm just like, excuse me, because, you know, we see all, you know, it's that time of the year, so all the ads are coming up now. So it is, like you said, it's a conversation and, you know, simple search.
And fun fact about John Ossoff, his mentor was Congressman John Lewis.
Really?
Yeah, so Congressman John Lewis wrote a letter to Dr. Martin Luther King when he was a young man to be his mentor and to, you know, learn about him. Dr. Martin Luther King responded back and brought him on. He gave him a bus ticket to meet him, and then since then they started working together. John Ossoff wrote a letter to Congressman John Lewis, and Congressman John Lewis took him on and you know, helped him and taught him some stuff. So yeah,
that's great.
Gotta pay it forward and gotta make sure we're learning about all the people running, like you said. You know, it's there's an awesome app called Branch. Shout out to Branch. It's free to use, especially this is for Georgians, Metro Atlanta people. All you have to do is put your address in, and it'll show you everyone running in your county, particularly DeKalb County, Fulton County, Gwinnett, and Cobb. So some of the information, most of the information is there, but double check with your sample ballot on your Georgia Secretary of State website, because they may, you know, they try and do their best to get everything they can, but they basically break down everybody who's on your ballot. They break down like what positions are open, what it means to be a sheriff, what it means to be a district attorney, what it means to be a judge, and then and then they tell you who's all running in your county. So all you gotta do is put your address in.
Good to know. I'm gonna download it.
Yes.
Yeah. And what was the app you were talking about?
It's called the Georgia SOS.
Oh, okay. So the same one she's talking about?
Yeah,
same page.
Yeah, but this election is very important because we cannot afford not to vote. Especially with a lot of people be like, I don't need, they ain't gonna come and vote, so I'm not gonna vote. You can't do that this time. We cannot afford it. The way this country is, the way it's running right now, we cannot afford it.
Amen. Say that again. We cannot afford it. We need to vote like our lives depend on it. Michelle Obama said it. Everybody's saying it. We need to vote, and we need to not only vote but vote early. And
And it's the
the-
best one, yeah. That's how they
Yeah.
get you, because a lot of people be waiting for that November what,
Third.
It's like I'm gonna go vote, and then when you get there 7 in the morning, and you then till 7 o'clock at night, because those lines are long. I've worked on an election, and those lines are really long. So if you vote early, that'll be the best time. Don't wait till the last minute.
And if you are going to vote by mail, you have to request your ballot. They don't just send you one automatically. So at least in Georgia. So you can go on. There's a new tool actually that they just came out with. WSB recently did a story, but it basically, I can't remember the name of it exactly, but it's a page, and all you have to do is put in your basic information, and it'll send your sample ballot to you. So we also have that link in our bio on Promote Positivity Movement on Instagram for anybody who wants to request it. But it's a seamless process, because isn't that, you have to request the absentee ballot, then they send you the absentee ballot, then you fill it out, then you send it back. And so it's just, they try to make it hard, they try to make it confusing, but what this site does is it basically sends you your ballot after filling out a quick application, which that would be the case for Georgia Secretary of State website as well, but it's just kind of confusing, and you have to go through so many different areas, so they try to streamline it and make an easy site for people to request their ballot. Because, if you are going to vote by mail, you have to request your ballot, and you have to request it right now, because it will not get to you.
So where can everybody find you, your page, your merch, and any information that you have about you?
Yes, of course. So you all can follow us at Promote Positivity Movement on Instagram, and that's basically where we push a lot of our updates. We share different stories happening, how you can support different causes, support different families impacted. We share updates about upcoming events and motivational stuff as well, and a lot of resources. As mentioned, if you click on the link in our bio, you'll find all sorts of information and voting resources and tools to help you with November's election. And then also, we're really reminding people to fill out the census. So please, please, please fill out the census by September 30th, because every single person makes a difference. That is money that gets going to your community. So please fill out the census. That link is in our bio as well. And we're always looking to, hopefully provide more support and be a light in the community. So any way we can do that, we're here to do that, and we will continue to do that. And then if you want to learn more about the mission of the Promote Positivity Movement, you can visit hannahjoytv.com, and you'll be able to find a tab that says Promote Positivity Movement for more.
What about your t-shirts?
Yeah, and the t-shirts, so we have them, we have them on our site. We put our store temporarily on hold because of COVID, but we are going to be releasing new products this fall and relaunching. So this fall we'll be back. So really excited, and shout out to you all for representing.
Yes.
Yes.
I think I think it's about time for a new shirt too.
Yeah, right. Can't wait for that new merch.
Yes.
But also, you are still fighting and still protesting too every single day, and now you do it online. You transition to online every day at 7 o'clock on Zoom, correct? And
Yes.
where can we find the link to that?
Thank you so much for the reminder. Please visit us, join us every day, like you said, at 7 p.m. on Zoom. And the link is also in our bio, so you just click on it and it'll say Line of Solidarity Virtual Protest. And as you all know, the Line of Solidarity started out downtown in front of the Olympic rings, and now we've converted to a virtual setting just for this particular protest, so we can continue fighting every single day. Every day we meet at 7 o'clock, we share resources, we share steps we can take to push forward, we share updates about what's going on, and it's also a space to heal, vent, cry even, just, you get all kinds of stuff. And then every Friday we have a movie screening of a social justice related film. So we welcome everyone to join us. We've seen everything from 13th to Good Trouble to Harriet to I Am Not Your Negro, and we plan on watching many, many more films. So please join us. The link is in the bio, Line of Solidarity Virtual Protest, and we hope that you can be a part of our family as well.
That's amazing.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for the reminder.
Oh, of course, girl.
Thank you so much, Hannah. We appreciate you. You have informed us and our viewers.
Yes.
And we can't thank you enough.
Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate y'all. So proud of each of you guys, and thank y'all for what y'all are doing. We love our Afro Girls podcast. So we salute you, queens, and encourage you all to keep it going on. And don't forget, vote early and fill out the census. Okay.
Yes, sis.